The wedge pattern is one of the most useful chart patterns in trading. In this video, I will show you what it is, how it works, and how to actually trade it. We have the falling wedge pattern. And this is actually a special type of pattern. Why? Well, as you can see, this pattern can act both as a reversal, but also as a continuation pattern. And the direction here is bullish. So the pattern can appear after a downtrend and reverse the price to the upside, but the pattern can also appear after an uptrend and continue the price towards the upside. To identify the falling wedge, what you're looking out for here is that you want to see both lower highs and you also want to see lower lows. But the slope here of the highs should be steeper compared to the slope here of the lows. So the pattern here will get tighter and tighter. And this is true for both the reversal, but also true for the continuation pattern. So now let's take a look at the falling wedge strategy. And later on in this video, I will also show you guys the reversal version. But for now, let's focus on the continuation version. So as you can see in this example, we had a nice movement towards the upside. And then the price started to print both lower highs, but also lower lows. But what you can see on this pattern is that the upper line is more steep compared to the lower line. And this is exactly what we're looking out for. The most common entry for this pattern is when the price breaks above the upper line. And what we want to see on this entry candle is that we want to see a strong momentum candle. And this right here is pretty much a perfect example. As you can see, the candle where the price broke out is much longer, especially the real body. So especially the sort of wide part of the candle is much larger compared to the candles here inside the wedge. And this is what we want to see. So the entry point here, the most common one, is to enter at the candle close of the breakout. So you enter right there. The stop loss is usually set below the lowest part of the wedge. Or in other words, you set it below this part right here. You can see the price wicked a bit below the lower line. And as for your target level, you have two main methods. One of the methods we have talked about before, and that is to use the measured move. So you measure the impulsive move like we did right here, and you take this measurement and you measure from the lowest part of the wedge. And using this method, your target would be up here. But as with most patterns, you can also use a risk to reward ratio. And our rule of thumb here is to use a risk to reward ratio of 2. So twice as large as the part between the stop loss and the entry. And this would make your target level somewhere up here, pretty much outside this example, outside the picture, but a bit higher compared to the measured move. However, guys, we do have another entry as well. And as you know from the previous patterns, one entry point that I like for most patterns is to enter here at the support. So you could also enter on this candle right here. But for the falling wedge pattern, for this pattern specifically, I personally actually prefer to enter here on the breakout, but some traders find success entering on the test of the support. And what you preferably want to see if you use this type of entry is once again that you want to see the price sort of just slightly dip below the support and then quickly push above. You can see in this example, we actually had a specific type of candle. This right here is a bullish hammer. And when you see a bullish hammer dipping just slightly below support and then pushing above, this can be a good entry. So for this entry point, you would enter right here at the candle close of the hammer. Your stop loss, once again, it will be the same as the other strategy. You set your stop loss below the hammer. But one good thing about this entry point is that you enter before the breakout, and this can allow you to take quick profits. So for example, using a risk to reward ratio of 2, your target level would be right here. And as you can see in this example, you would have gotten some really quick profits because the first candle after the candle you entered already hit your profit target. So now guys, let's take a look at the opposite pattern. This right here is the rising wedge, and for the rising wedge I will also show you the reversal strategy. But first, let's take a quick look at this pattern. Once again, this is a special pattern because the rising wedge can also act both as a reversal and also act as a continuation. So the pattern can appear after an uptrend and reverse the price, but it can also appear after a downtrend and continue the price down. Once again, what we're looking out for here is consecutive higher highs, but we're also looking out for higher lows. So once again here, higher highs and higher lows. That said, for the rising wedge, we want the upper line to be less steep compared to the lower line. So we want the pattern to rise here, but when it's rising, it should get tighter and tighter. So when, once again, the lower line is more steep than the upper line, and this will make the pattern sort of get tighter and tighter and tighter. And when the pattern is very tight, that is often where we see the strong breakout. So now let's take a look at the rising wedge strategy. And here you can actually see that the example I talked about when we talked about the falling wedge is right here. So you can see we saw the falling wedge here, the price continued up, but then after a while we saw a sort of massive rising wedge. And what I want to show you guys with this example is that chart patterns, as you know, they are universal, so they can appear on all types of time frames, but chart patterns can also be very different sizes. So you can see that this massive rising wedge right here is much larger than the falling wedge. And one principle you can notice here, and that you can write down if you are, taking notes and so on, is that continuation patterns are often, you will notice that they will often be smaller compared to the reversal patterns. Reversal patterns can in general be, large patterns. If you remember the head and shoulders pattern and the inverse head and shoulders, these are very large patterns. But when it comes to continuation patterns, they will often be pretty small, like the falling wedge. And if you remember, the flag patterns are also often pretty small patterns. But for now, let's focus on the rising wedge here. So the first thing you can notice is that the price is printing both higher highs, and we are also printing higher lows, but the range here of the pattern is getting tighter and tighter. And for the rising wedge, the most common entry is also to enter at the breakout. So you can see that this strong red candle broke the pattern. So our entry point in this case would be to enter at the candle close of this candle, right? But for this case, the stop loss is a little bit more tricky. One way to place your stop loss is to place it just above the high here, pretty similar to the falling wedge we talked about recently. But as you can see, in this case, we also have a wick. You can see we have a wick all the way up here. So some traders, because we have a wick all the way up here, would actually aim to place the stop loss above this point right here. And in my opinion, none of these stop losses are bad. Both are actually pretty good. And the stop loss you decide to choose here is, pretty dependent on your own trading style. So if you are more of a short-term trader, you might prefer to choose the first stop loss, because if you choose a tighter stop loss, you will be able to also choose tighter targets. While if you use the larger stop loss, the positive thing about the larger stop loss is that it's less likely that you will get stopped out. But at the same time, if you use the wider stop loss, you will need to use a wider target as well. So as you can see here, if you use the first stop loss type, perhaps your target would be down here. But if you use the other stop loss, in order to get a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, your target would have to be lower. And when we see large rising wedges like right here, what some traders will also do is that they will measure the length of the wedge. So they take this measurement and then measure from the breakout, right? So these two lines should be the same length, and then they use this right here as their target. But now guys, let's take a look at this video was actually just a very short clip from our full chart patterns trading course right here on YouTube. To watch the full course, all you need to do is to click or tap on the screen right here. I hope to see you all over there very, very soon.